everyone, my name is Jenna Van Mourik and I am the author of Jerusalem's Daughter, book 1 in the Generations of Faith series that is a biblical fiction novel set during the time of Christ's ministry on earth, and it is one young woman's experiences during the Passion Week. Here on my channel for a while, then you'll notice that most of my content prior to this year had a lot to do more with reading books than actually writing them. And there are a few reasons for that. One of them is that I didn't really want to give writing advice when I just wrote my books as a hobby. I wrote as a hobby and I also wrote as a student because at the time that I started this channel, I was pursuing my degree in English. I'm now graduated, which is a whole other story. But I never really considered myself an author-tuber, since really I was just a booktuber and this was just a book channel. Occasionally I posted writing vlogs or little writing updates because you guys were interested or wanted to know about my books, but I never really devoted any specific videos to writing or to my books until recently as we got closer to my actual book release, 3/16/21. But since my book is actually going to be published and I am technically going to legitimately be an author after I have my book published, I thought it would be a really fun time to do the AUTHORTUBE newbie tag. I'm not a newbie to YouTube, but I am a newbie to being a published author, so I thought this would be a really fun time to actually do that tag because I've always wanted to, but I've just never really felt like I was in the right zone. I had the right moment, the right opportunity, but this, my friends, may be that opportune moment. So let's get started. And a tag is essentially just a bunch of questions that you answer and you tag other people to do the same thing. I wasn't tagged. I'm probably not going to tag anyone, but if you want to do this, then consider yourself tagged by me. The first question is, how did you find out about AUTHORTUBE? And the answer is, it was 2016 in my freshman dorm room when I was living at college in Arizona. I later transferred out of Arizona, but that's a whole other story. And I remember I was writing books as a hobby well before I ever joined the internet officially. And I remember I was working on a story and I was just coming to a wall. So I think I just YouTubed like how to edit your book because it had been written at that point and it was not good. It will never be good. You will never, ever see it. Ever. But I, at the time, really thought I would edit it and perhaps publish that novel, and I just looked up on YouTube how to edit a novel yourself because I wanted to know. And that led me to one of Kim Chance's videos. Kim Chance used to be an author-tuber. She's not on YouTube anymore. She left YouTube after she published her books to focus just more on her family and her personal life and her actual writing as opposed to constantly making videos. But her old videos are still up and they're all still really amazing and really great, so I highly recommend that you check them out because she really explains a lot about the author process really, really well, and I still go back and rewatch them sometimes. But I discovered Kim Chance's YouTube channel, I subscribed, I followed her whole journey of publishing Keeper and Seeker. That led me to a rabbit hole of other author-tubers, and my two favorites right now that I watch consistently every single week are Bethany Atazadeh and Brittany Wang. Question number 2 is, what genres do you write in? I write Christian fiction, but specifically biblical fiction. Biblical fiction is a subgenre of Christian fiction. The two terms are not interchangeable. I have loads of videos on what biblical fiction is, recommending biblical fiction, and literally I am surrounded by biblical fiction right now. Essentially, biblical fiction just means Christian fiction that is specifically set during the time in which the Bible was written. So it's different from historical fiction, it's different from ancient historical fiction, and it's a subgenre of Christian fiction, not interchangeable with Christian fiction. So brief definition, but I hope that made sense. Question number 3 is, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view, and category of story? I think that I write in past tense. My preferred point of view is limited third person. This was actually a bit of a journey because I'd taken a lot of writing courses, and I think in one of my writing courses, omniscient was really emphasized. We had to really practice writing in the omniscient POV. And omniscient just means that your narrator is removed from the story, but they know everything going on in every single one of the characters' heads at a time. So you might say, you know, he felt sad, she was happy, the brother was excited, blah, 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 blah. And limited POV is where you only know one character's thoughts and feelings, but so you're limited to that character. And then of course, like, first person is like I, we, me pronouns, versus third person is he, she, they pronouns. I would say third limited, but I didn't know that I liked third limited until I worked with my editor. Originally, I'd written in the omniscient perspective. I hired my editor, and my editor was like, you kind of actually mix POVs a lot. And I do attribute this to being in college while I was writing, because I think what would happen was, as I would be writing something for class and concurrently working on my novel, the trends that I was exploring in class would affect how I would be writing my novel during that time. So it ended up being like a few different styles of writing. And initially I was like, well, third omniscient, obviously, because I really liked working in the omniscient perspective. And my editor was like, I think your book actually leans more towards limited. But I actually found out in editing that I really love and I think thrive in third limited. So really thankful to my editor for helping me figure out which one. And I knew full well that my book had problems even before I did beta readers. And that was something that I had actually brought up with my editor when I booked and signed a contract with them, and they were like, what are you looking for? And I was like, well, I know that I have problem areas here, 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 and with my POV. So it was something that I knew I struggled with and that I needed to polish a bit more, which is why I hired an editor. But I'd always thought when I hired the editor, we would polish it for omniscient. And my editor ended up showing me like, hey, we can polish it for omniscient, but I think you should try this instead. And I ended up liking that more because she was right and it does suit my voice and my style more. But yes, to answer the question, writing tense is past. Point of view is third limited or third close, I think. And then category of story, I would just say general, like my audience is general. Question number 4 is, are you a plotter, pantser, or plantser? I'm a hardcore plotter. Ask anyone who really knows me, specifically Audrey Bodine. She will tell you I am in fact a hardcore plotter. Outlining is my bread and butter. It has been since I was a child. I would outline things. So yeah. Question number 5 is, are you a self-published, published, or yet to be published author? And I am a self-published author, or I will be, on March 16th of 2021, if that hasn't happened yet already by the time this video goes live. Question number 6 is, what publishing company, literary agent, and or printing company are you represented by or use? I am currently working with KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, and Amazon, although I'm also at the same time trying to go wide and publish through a few different other ones as well, but I haven't quite gotten the hang of that, so I'm not going to mention those yet. But for sure, KDP, Amazon. Question number 7 is, what AuthorTube related videos can we expect to find on your channel? This is a good question. I've never really done AuthorTube videos, and I've never done writing advice. I have done a few tutorials for academic writing back when I was a writing tutor at the college level and would tutor college papers at the bachelor's and master's degree level and tutor those and help students edit them for success. So I have done a few academic writing tutorials, but I haven't done many writing related videos specifically for like authoring on my channel. So if you have any suggestions or requests, be sure to leave those in the comment section below. But in general, I just talk a lot about biblical fiction, what biblical fiction is, how biblical fiction should be read and or written, and also a lot about my own book, Jerusalem's Daughter, coming March 16th of 2021. Question number 8 is, when did you start writing? And honestly, I don't know, because I've been writing since I was very, very young. I was basically an only child for most of my life, and I entertained myself a lot. And how I did that was usually by writing stories or plays or scripts or screenplays, or just writing and creating all kinds of worlds. So I have actually most of those saved. So maybe I'll bring them out sometime and show you guys. What was the first story you ever wrote? Again, I don't know. But the first ever novel-length project I wrote was a 60 to 70,000 word fan fiction for Pirates of the Caribbean 3. And after that, I wrote a 70 to 80,000 word novel about pirates that was not fan fiction, but they were pirates. It was a pirate's story of my own creation. That is the book that shall not be named, shall not be published, and shall not ever be mentioned again. Like I said, I've written lots of stories, and I wrote that book, the 1700s piratesy book, and then I wrote half of its sequel, and then I wrote Jerusalem's Daughter, and I have since been through 20 drafts of Jerusalem's Daughter, which is more than I've ever spent with any other book, but yes. Question number 10 is, what authors have inspired your writing the most? Tessa Afshar, Misu Andrews, Connie Lynn Cassette, in terms of like biblical fiction, and then I would say in general, stories that have inspired me include like Little House on the Prairie, Anne of Green Gables, The Hunger Games from back in the day when I was young and spry, a little bit of Ernest Hemingway, because, you know, I'm a literature major, so I have to throw that in there. Little Women, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, and yeah, I think that does it for general fiction, but for biblical fiction specifically, Misu Andrews, Connie Lynn Cassette, and Tessa Afshar, who is absolutely amazing. And then like my biggest story inspiration is Ben-Hur, so yeah. Question number 11, do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you can find the time? Before I graduated college, I just wrote whenever I could, whenever I had the time, whenever I wasn't burdened with an incredibly loathsome amount of homework. Now that I'm graduated with college, I write much more regularly, and I'm a night writer, so I usually write in the evenings between like 5 and 9:30 because I get tired. Question number 12, do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? I do tend to outline and brainstorm by hand, and if I am outlining and brainstorming, then I have to do it with a Pilot G2 series pen in black ink, and I have to do it on college-ruled binder paper. Normally, if I'm actually writing, not like outlining or brainstorming, then I do so on my computer, and my computer is a MacBook Pro. So yeah, I have a typewriter, but I literally only use it for Instagram pictures. So there's that. The last question is, what are you most looking forward to now that you're a part of AuthorTube? Talking about my books and my writing journey, of course. So that was all for today's video. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Once again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jenna Van Mourik, and if you liked today's video, make sure to hit the like button and maybe even leave a nice comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to make sure that all notifications are turned on. If you'd like to connect with me outside of YouTube, then you can do so on Instagram, where I am active pretty much every single day, and you can also check out my author website at www.authorjennavanmourik.com for more information about me, my books, and my free resources for you. All of my other social media links, handles, and information will be in the description box below. Don't forget, like I said, to leave me any suggestions for writing videos that you guys would like to see me do. I'm open to all of those, and yeah, I would love to knock some of those out for you. We'll see. I have a lot more time on my hands now that I'm not in school, and now that my book is hopefully ready to be published. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!